So Hallie Biden was married to Hunter's older brother, Beau Biden. He died of brain cancer in 2015. Shortly thereafter, she and Hunter embarked on a romantic relationship. She testified that he introduced her to using crack cocaine as well. So, roughly around that period, she was also using crack cocaine. And she testified that she went looking in his car for drugs, which she often found there. And she ended up finding a pistol, and she panicked and she brought it to a nearby grocery store, which is the grocery store that President Biden still shops at on the weekends when he's home to this day, and threw it out in a dumpster. That led to a sort of bizarre series of events. The police got involved, and eventually, through that, it emerged this form emerged showing that Hunter Biden had indicated he was not using drugs.
Up to 6:54. Now, the prosecution has completed its case in the trial of Hunter Biden, President Biden's son, after days of evidence that revealed details about his struggles with drug addiction. Hunter Biden has pleaded not guilty to 3 criminal charges relating to the purchase of a firearm in 2018 while he was still using narcotics. Ben Schreckinger is national political correspondent for Politico and author of a book on the Bidens. He's been following the trial.
This trial centers around the question of whether Hunter Biden lied on a federal gun form by indicating that he was not using or addicted to drugs when in fact he was, which is what prosecutors allege. And he's facing 3 felony counts related to that.
Okay. So federal prosecutors arrested their case as of Friday morning. What were the kind of key things that were revealed after this first week of proceedings?
So prosecutors played for the jury tape of Hunter Biden reading his own memoir in which he describes his struggles with drug addiction during this period. They also heard from 3 women in his life. They heard from his ex-wife. They heard from his late brother Beau's widow, who was in a romantic relationship with him at the time of this gun purchase. And they heard from another girlfriend of his, an exotic dancer who he was dating. And mostly they were all attesting to his use of crack cocaine during this time period.
How did he appear when they were hearing these sort of long excerpts from the audio book and it's narrated by himself? As he was listening to those, was there any kind of noticeable response or reaction?
He, in the courtroom, was surrounded by family. First Lady Jill Biden was there for most of the week, other than her trip to France. His current wife, Melissa Cohen Biden, was present. His sister Ashley Biden was present on Monday. He seemed, stoic, alert, and was embracing his family in between the proceedings.
Tell us a bit about Hunter Biden's sister-in-law, who has been described as the prosecution's most important witness. So what do we know about Hallie Biden, and what did she say when she took the stand?
So Hallie Biden was married to Hunter's older brother, Beau Biden. He died of brain cancer in 2015. Shortly thereafter, she and Hunter embarked on a romantic relationship. She testified that he introduced her to using crack cocaine as well. So roughly around that period, she was also using crack cocaine. And she testified that she went looking in his car for drugs, which she often found there. And she ended up finding a pistol, and she panicked and she brought it to a nearby grocery store, which is the grocery store that President Biden still shops at on the weekends when he's home to this day, and threw it out in a dumpster. That led to a sort of bizarre series of events. The police got involved, and eventually, through that, it emerged. This form emerged showing that Hunter Biden had indicated he was not using drugs.
She told jurors she panicked when she discovered the gun. I just wonder, in terms of this kind of star witness or most important witness in the case, your own analysis, Ben, on how important Hallie Biden's testimony is going to be.
It is an element. It's an important piece of testimony. Hunter's own voice, in some ways, maybe describing from his book his drug addiction at that time, may also be very powerful. Overall, my colleague Ankush Kardori, who's a former federal prosecutor, had a piece today saying that he thinks that just on the merits of whether prosecutors with the case they've laid out are likely to get a conviction, he thinks that they likely will.
In terms of the political implications of all of this as well, what has President Biden said? What is his take on what is unfolding?
The most important thing President Biden has said this week is in an interview, he ruled out pardoning his son. He's also made a statement saying, he's going to let the legal process play out here, but that as a father, he supports his son and he's proud of the man he is today. Overall, Joe Biden has earned the appreciation of many voters who like that he's stuck by his son no matter what. By no means do all voters feel that way about it. And Hunter Biden has created a number of political headaches for his father and potential liabilities. But most of those have to do with his business dealings. And this case here is really pretty narrowly about his personal life.
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
You have.